Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I go about refreshing my makeup partway through the day. Generally, I put on my makeup first thing in the morning before my kids get up and then just wear it throughout the day and it looks like what it's going to look like by the end of the day. But if I'm going to go out again in the evening or if I have a special event, this is the routine I go through to just freshen up and look like I put in a little bit more effort than I did at 6 o'clock in the morning. Then, once I look a little bit more fresh and pulled together, I'll show you how I would transition that look from a day to night look. Now, the first thing I do when I go to refresh my makeup is assess what's happened in the day. Depending on how my skin is behaving or the type of weather I was in or what kind of products I used, my skin may have done a variety of different things. So I start by looking in my mirror, I've got mine here, and I look at it and decide, am I looking shiny? Am I looking dry? Is the foundation going patchy or is it splitting up in different places? Because sometimes it's just the nature of the beast. Today, I'm looking a little bit shiny. I have been working in my yard quite a bit today, so I got really sweaty. So I'm going to start by blotting before I add any more product because I already have a layer of my own oil on my face, and if I go in and just add more product, it's going to probably ball up and not look super cute. So what I do is I take a tissue and I split it, because it's 2 plies, I split it because I really only need it to be super thin. And I'm just going to press this into my skin and tear it apparently. Just to soak up anything that's extra. This will probably remove some makeup, but that's okay. We're here freshening up. So just kind of hitting all of those areas. I don't want to swipe my tissue because I don't want to remove any more product than I have to, but if some comes off in the process, that's okay. Now, the first thing that tends to happen with my makeup when it starts breaking down throughout the day is I have a loss of clarity. When I first put it on, my skin looked perfect and smooth, and generally, because it's either oily or dry, it's just not going to have that clean finish anymore. So what I will tend to do first is spray on a fine mist to kind of redampen my skin. It's also a nice skincare step just to make sure I'm rehydrating throughout the day. So I'm going to go ahead and spray real quick. Just a thin coat so that everything just can soak up and not look dry when we go to put more product on. Now, the second thing that happens with me is I tend to experience a loss of coverage with my makeup. I can see here I've got a spot here on my cheek that's been hanging out rent-free a couple days that's beginning to show a little bit more red than it did this morning. Either it's from touching or just the wear of the makeup. I've lost some of the coverage here on my cheeks. I've got a new one that I picked at maybe 10 minutes ago right here, so he needs to go away. I could go in with a concealer and just spot conceal, but in this case, I'm just going to go in with my foundation that I used this morning and apply a thin coat, not on my entire face, because I don't need it on my entire face. Everything here in my T-zone is looking pretty fabulous. It's just pretty much on my cheeks that I need to reapply that coverage. I'm going to apply my foundation to my brush and gently just stipple it into the areas where I need that coverage. If I need to go in with a concealer after this, I will, but this I found is the better way to make sure I don't have rings of concealer around product that's already worn. This blends everything back together with the original makeup. Also, I'm filming in a new setup today. I'm in my living room, sitting here on my floor because it's comfy, and using all natural daylight. Normally I have to set up lights to make it bright enough that it's not a black hole you're watching. But today I decided to take advantage of the natural light. Next, I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer on a tiny spot brush and just gently tap it onto those spots that are being a little bit stubborn and wanting to shine through. Generally, if I'm fixing up my makeup, it means that I'm going out again that night. And generally somewhere other than the pool or the yard where I've been all day. So I take a little bit more care to conceal things that I may not even bother concealing in the morning. It was just a quick get something on my face and get out the door. Again, I always go back in with my big brush just to stipple over that. It's my fail-safe to make sure everything's blended. Now that everything has the clarity that I want in my skin again and my coverage is looking good, the next thing that my skin already lost before I even put that foundation on is color. Specifically, I will tend to lose definition in my brows, my mascara, and my blush, and any lip because that doesn't last more than a couple hours, especially if I'm eating and snacking. I already have product in my brows and I like the shape. I'm just going to freshen it up with a tinted brow gel. Next, I'm going to go in with my blush, and most mornings I went in with a cream blush. This is the cream blush that I have been loving. I have hit pan. It's still holding strong though. And I just go in and add a little bit more right over where I would have in the morning. I'm not going for anything elaborate, just looking to be fresh. See, just a little bit of color brings so much more life back to the face compared to our flat color. With cream blushes, I found it's better to press and kind of roll the product in rather than trying to pull, because you will move the coverage you just put on underneath and it'll just smear into a mess. Start and just work in thin layers and tap it into the skin. Now, if this is all the time I had, I would just put on a tinted lip balm and be 100%. I'm concealed, I've got fresh blush, fresh brows, and run out the door. If I had an extra 30 seconds, I would go in and put another coat of mascara on just to make sure those look bold and lashy, because it's a look I prefer. But because I'm now going to show you how to transition, if I wanted to take this from a day look to a night look, I'm going to show you the mascara at the end after I've done some eyeshadow. Typically, the biggest difference between a day look and a night look is that a night look has just that extra bit of pizzazz. Evening look tends to be in darker lighting. Your natural light is gone, the sun has gone down, so you can play a little bit more with colors and transitions, and they tend to show up better in the evening than they would during the day. Plus, no one can accuse you of being extra for wearing it at 9 a.m. So I'm going to show you something that I would wear to more of a special event or a date night with my husband, and I'll talk you through the different components you can tweak for your own night. Since I'm actually going to put eyeshadow on, right now I have no eyeshadow on, I'm going to go ahead and set my T-zone and underneath my eyes with powder just in case I have any fallout, because any shadows will stick to the wet base I currently have, but I will be able to swipe them away easier if I have powdered. I've used next to no powder just because I'm not a huge fan of the powdered look, but a little bit does make your skin look that much more perfected, and especially if you're going to be in the evening light, you may see more flash photography, so you want to use a powder just to give you that airbrushed effect. Just make sure you are not going to have any flashback with your powder. Since I am going to go in with some eyeshadow, I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes. Just a tiny little bit of product there. Now, the direction you can take your eyeshadow for an evening look is endless. You could do a smoky eye in any color you want. You could do it in dark grays and blacks, or you could do it in browns and bronzes, or you could go bright green if you want. The concept of a smoky eye is just that the densest, darkest color is at the lashes and it spreads up from there. You could do a cut crease, you could do a winged eyeliner, or if you wanted, you could just wear nothing on your eyes and just add mascara, and there's something really elegant about that simple look. Today I'm going to go in with my go-to look because it's a fail-safe, and generally I don't have a ton of time to do my makeup anyway. I'm going to use the original OG Urban Decay Naked palette here. This is no longer available. They discontinued it. They gave it a funeral. It was a big deal. I scooped it up when it was on sale, and then I used a coupon on top of it. These are not super unique shadows to the market. It's just what I'm going to use today. I'm going to start off with the shade Naked, just applying that on a fluffy brush into my crease to lay the groundwork. I used to think I had really hooded eyes, but I've realized I don't actually have hooded eyes. I have deep set eyes. So when I place my product, I tend to hold my brush facing upward instead of at my eye and brush the product on the upper side of my crease, almost kind of blowing the look out a little bit. It makes my eyes look bigger and I like that effect. Next, I'm going to go in with Smog, just right on my finger. Going in right just with my finger because it'll be the fastest way to get the densest color right at those lashes. And I'm going to blend the edges with that brush again. I'm going to run a little bit of that Smog color along the lower lash line. I don't know if you're anything like me, but when I know I have a special event like a date night or a girls' night, I always plan to have this elaborate get ready time where I can do my makeup and do my hair and look fabulous. And then life happens and I end up having 20 minutes to get ready. So I go with something that's pretty foolproof. It's pretty hard for me to mess this up. I'll plan a cut crease or an amazing winged eyeliner, but that requires a little bit more time and patience than I will have in 20 minutes. Generally I spend too much of those 20 minutes on my makeup anyway and have to wear my hair just straight, which is fine. Next, I'm going to go in with that color Hustle, which is a darker brown, and tuck this into the crease. Going in with my fingers again, but this time a different finger. I'm going to pick up the lightest highlighty shade in here and just plop it right on the ball of my lid. It'll keep this from being just a boring bronze look. Also take a little bit of that and put it on the inner corner, because even if it's a dark location or anything, any little bit of light we could bring into the eyes, it just makes them look more awake and alive. And a little bit right up here on the brow bone. Alright, so we used just a light transition in the crease to blow up the look and make the eye look bigger. We used browns on the lid, deepened it a little bit on the outer corner, and threw some highlight right on the ball of our eye, the underneath the brow bone, and in the inner corner. Now, something I haven't shown on my channel yet, but it does make a big difference in transitioning a look from day to night, is to throw on some false eyelashes. Personally, I don't wear them often enough to be an expert at putting on a false lash and have it actually be comfortable through the day. So I'm going to show you how I put on little lash clusters to create a more dramatic effect, but they're super easy and very, very comfortable. To hide that lash band of our little lashes we're going to put on, I'm going to apply some liquid eyeliner, just really thin line right at the roots of my own lashes. Now, this isn't going to be an in-depth tutorial on how to put on false eyelashes, but I'm going to show you quickly just an overview of what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to use these Kiss lashes. They're not individuals, they're actually lashes that are put together in clusters. So you can easily drop on like 2 or 3 clusters. They blend into your natural lashes and they're really, really stunning. And like I said, extremely comfortable to wear. If you put these on right, you don't even feel them. So I have my first little trio lash here. You want to put the glue on the underside of the lash, not just on there, because you're going to stick it to your lash. And I'm going to put this all the way on the outside and I'll work my way in. There's one. I'm going to pop on a couple and I'll be back. All right, so that's one eye done. I did 3 short clusters and then 1 extra short cluster. The further in I got, I stopped about right at my pupil because I want more of an elongated eye than just a full flutter. I'm gonna let that lash glue dry before I go and put any mascara on. If it's not 100% dry, you'll put on mascara and rip all those false eyelashes off. I will say I don't feel them at all. I don't see them when I'm looking that direction. They're extremely comfortable, but I really like the effect they give my eyes. Let me throw on some on my other eye. I'll be right back. All right, and there's both eyes with lashes on them. If you've never used false eyelashes before, do not make the first time right before you're getting ready for your big event or your date night or whatever it is. It will just frustrate you and they will not look good unless you are extremely lucky, but typically give yourself some practice times. I'm gonna wait for these to dry and go ahead and finish the face. Now the first thing I'm gonna do is go in with my Reliable bronzer to create shape and dimension. Because again, if we're going to be photographed at an event, the first 2 things to disappear are your lashes and any product you have on your faces. So putting a little bit of that definition back into your face will make sure you don't disappear. And also, like I said, there's just something about when the natural light goes away and you're working with night ambiance, you can get away with a little bit more, but it doesn't look like more. I'm gonna set my cream blush with a powder blush here in a very similar color just to set it and make sure it's long wearing. This part here is not going to be too terribly unique from my other videos and how I pretty much finish the face. I might even be using the exact same products, but that's the way I do it. Finally, going in with a highlight here. I'm still waiting for those lashes to dry, and I can tell they're still wet because I still see little specks of white. This glue dries clear, so when I can't see it anymore, I know it's dry, so I'm gonna wait on the mascara and move to my lip. One of my first questions is there food involved in this event? Because if so, I'm gonna opt out of wearing a super vampy burgundy or dark color. I might go with a red or a nude or a pink, but I'm not gonna go something super intense if there is food involved. I'll start here by putting on a nude just so you can see how that might look. It doesn't have to be super over the top with all the color on all of the face. This one's more of a peachy nude, which I prefer on my coloring. Anything too brown just makes me look really pale. I'm going to spritz my face one more time to knock back any powder that may be showing up and to make everything blend in together. I'm going to throw on a coat of mascara. You gotta be really careful where you put those false lashes, but I'm really gonna load up that middle area. Can't get close enough to my mirror, so I'm gonna switch to a handheld. And that's what I would call look number 1 done. Something a little bit more fancy than what you would wear day to day, but it's very easy to achieve. And if I wasn't filming this, I'd probably be able to do it in like maybe 15-20 minutes. Minus the false eyelashes, that might add an extra 5. Now, if I really wanted to make a statement, I would go in and add a brighter color. So I have Fire Engine Red here I want to apply just for funsies. I want to clean up that line, so I'm going to go in with a red liner. For me, if I'm wearing just a red lipstick like this, it would be perfect to wear just with a pair of jeans or around the house or whatever. But if I'm going for something that I want just that touch to be more finished, I'll go in with a lip liner just to clean up. Just adds that little bit extra effect. So I'm feeling fresh, it didn't take me that long, and I've transitioned from day to night. Now I just gotta find some place for my husband to take me tonight. So just a quick recap. When you are refreshing your makeup, you may find that you have had a loss of clarity or loss of coverage or just a simple loss of color. So just go in with the products you used when you applied your makeup and freshen it up with the tips we've discussed. blot your makeup and spray it if you need to, then go ahead and apply your coverage and your color. And if you're taking something from day to night, you can go with a bold eye like we have here, or you could keep it really simple and just throw on a bold lip. You could add more dimension to your face, or you could put on a full-on red lip like we have here. The pieces that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, or the fastest impact for the time it took to apply, are going to be a stronger lip and lashes. If those are the only two things you do, you are automatically going to elevate the look. Things like eyeshadow and bronzer and blush are just added benefits, in my opinion. My go-to way to transition and up a look for an evening event is to throw something on the eyes, just a couple shadows and some lashes. Typically, I will leave the lip pretty bare because there's a high chance that food is involved, or kissing with my husband, in which case he's not going to appreciate such a bright red like this. I hope this video has been helpful for you. No makeup is bulletproof and will make it through the entire day looking exactly as perfect as when you applied it. So even if you're just touching up in 30 seconds or 5 minutes, that's something to take away. And if you want to have a little bit more fun with some color, some lipstick, then go for it and transition to the evening. Have a wonderful week and keep revealing and refining your beauty. But realize that your makeup may not last all day.